welcome to another episode of Fursland Forge. So today is project number 34 and we are going today to make a Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife. So these were created, or the idea came from William Fairbairn and Eric Sykes, who were part of the Shanghai Municipal Police. And in World War II, they were asked to help with some of the combat and fighting skills that they learned or invented when they were in that police department. And one of the things they did was create with Wilkinson's sword this dagger here. So it's a very famous fighting knife throughout World War II and beyond. And I'm actually fortunate enough, I remember as a kid, my granddad had one of these knives on his bookshelf. I didn't really know what it was when I was a kid, but then when I got into blacksmithing I suddenly realized what it was, and it turned out that it was my great-grandfather's knife that he used in World War II. So today we're going to try and make a few of these. As you can see, it's a very thin blade, very thin handle. We're probably going to do some work with the handle where we go talk to Robbie, my woodworking friend. So we'll maybe work on that here, but today we'll just start laying out the point and the tang of this blade, and then we'll probably make 2 or 3 just so we've got some learnings from the first one that we make today. The steel for today is going to be 5160, so I've got it in the forge right now. It's about a 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch, so I've got a fairly small piece, but we're still going to reduce it quite a bit. So we'll let that heat up and then we'll start forging, banging on the hammer. Still super thick, but I got the basics of the shape. So what I'll do now is, it's still too wide across here, so I'll start heating up the rest of it and try and make it a little bit thinner, but I'm pretty pleased with the first part of that dagger point. Realize the front's not pointy yet, but we don't point it up until we've done all the quenching, just in case it causes a break or anything. But the blade itself is going to go to about there. So we got about what we wanted. We're about an inch at this piece. So now we're going to make the hidden tang. So what I think I'll do is I'll chop a piece of this off, and then we'll reverse it around. And I've got a new tang machine that I made. So I'll show you that in a minute. So I'll get this back in there and then we'll start figuring out how to break off the back of this.
Forge. We'll get them next time.
So, I think we'd already shown you this first one. I just did a quick rough grind just to see if there was any big indentations in it or anything, but looks pretty good from the blade side of things. So that's good news. Just needs a lot of work. Still a very thick blade, but from a dagger perspective, remember both sides are sharp, so we want some meat in the middle there. This one is probably still hot, but this is the second one that I made. So hopefully they are similar in size. Yeah, they're pretty close. And then tang lengthwise, again pretty close. And then as I mentioned before, we're not going to put points on these yet. We'll do that as we get more towards the quench, and then certainly after the quench. But overall they're pretty good. I might try and make a third one. I'm not sure we'll record that, but I think if we've got three, we've got more to play with. So if I get time, I'll do that. But next phases now will be kind of rough grinding, getting the shape, certainly getting this tang area here squared off, and then we'll do the quench, and then from there it's the usual grinding, hand sanding, polishing, and then make the handles. So, got the blade, looks a little bit better, a bit more of a shape there. So what we do next is we paint it with steel blue. I think you can see that. And then this just enables us to then make some scribing marks, and that allows us to get a center line down the middle, and then we'll go down the edges of the blade and we'll just figure out, we'll put two lines down here, and then those are the lines that we'll rough grind down to. We don't want to go too far, because if we go and make this too thin and sharp, when it comes to that quench it'll cause it to warp more. So we don't want to do that, but we do want to at least do a rough grind again. So if we use that example here, you can see there's a little bit of blue on this, but I put a line down the middle to try and give me that initial bevels that I was putting in place there. So let's get started on this. Okay, so we got the nice blue, you can see in the light there. So now I'm going to use my digital calipers, my little scribey thing here, and we'll start making center lines and then just scribing out all the bits where we need to make our grind lines. So that's all 3 blades quenched. I think we've got them all hardened there. So I've got the 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that finishes our episode, I think, for this round. So as you can see, we got the final blades, we did the quench, and then we did the tempering in the oven. So I actually ran 2 cycles in the oven at about 425 or thereabouts for a couple of hours each time, and that just, they call it relaxes the steel. So if you remember, we put it in the quench, makes it nice and hard but also brittle, and then that tempering in the toaster oven just gives it, just helps to relax it. So next we'll just start grinding this out. So we've got all 3 done. I guess the decision is, do we stick with Fairbairn-Sykes knives, or maybe we go Wolverine claws? Looks pretty cool too. So as I said, blade work, forging work really finished there. Next is going to be refining the blade, sharpening it on the grinder, and then we'll also start working on the handles. But we'll do that in the next episode. So thanks for watching.